What's up, guys? This is Burst Lab X here with a new unboxing of the UX-16 random booster featuring Clock Mirage. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Bring out the scissors. There we go. Actually, I think we opened it right there. All right. Moment of truth. Did we get? Oh my goodness. Yes, we did. We got the red Clock Mirage with the 965 ratchet. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get the bit out. It's away. There she is. The beautiful Clock Mirage with that 965 ball. The detail on this blade looks way better in person. Got clean curves, solid weight, really interesting defensive profile. I've read that it bursts pretty easily, but here at Burst Labs X, we like to put things through the grinder. So we're going to be doing about 50 to 100 battles with this thing stock. We're not going to make any upgrades yet. Then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and put this thing through the lab and see what the results are. First opponent was Phoenix Wing 160 Rush. And this was easily the roughest matchup for Clock Mirage. Across the 10 battles, Mirage only picked up 4 wins. All of them were spin finishes. But those 6 losses, 4 of them were burst finishes, and the other 2 were over finishes, with Phoenix Wings literally shoved Mirage straight out of the stadium. The pattern was extremely consistent too. Anytime Phoenix Wing hit Mirage early at an upward angle, Mirage instantly tilted. And once it's tilted, Mirage becomes insanely fragile. The burst rate goes through the roof. Phoenix Wing's aggressive movement with Rush meant Mirage was getting hit fast, hit early, and hit off balance almost every time. So in this matchup, Mirage wasn't just losing, he was getting blown apart. Final score, 4 wins, 6 losses, and Phoenix exposed Mirage's biggest weakness, tilt sensitivity. Next up was Wolf Hunt, with the wheel assist blade 060 kick, and this matchup was the complete opposite. Clock Mirage absolutely dominated Wolf Hunt, finishing with an 8-2 record. Almost all of these wins were spin finishes. Wolf Hunt just couldn't keep its own balance long enough to challenge Mirage in stamina. Mirage stayed centered, stayed upright, and simply outlasted it. Now the 2 losses Wolf Hunt did get were pretty dramatic. 1 extreme finish and 1 over finish. Outside of those rare hits, Wolf Hunt didn't have the offensive pressure to tilt Mirage or push it into burst territory. This matchup showed Clock Mirage at its best. When it's upright and taking low impact trades, it's incredibly consistent. The final score, 8 wins, 2 losses. Our third matchup we tested was Hover Wyvern with 160 kick, and this one exposed Mirage's durability all over again. Clock Mirage only managed 3 wins, while Hover Wyvern scored 7, and 5 of those 7 losses were burst finishes. Hover Wyvern creates downward pressure when it makes contact. This pushes opponents off their center of gravity, and against Mirage, that's basically a death sentence. Once Mirage leans too far to one side, the slopes on its blade stop deflecting hits and start absorbing them head on, and that leads directly into bursts. Even the wins Mirage did get were spin finishes that came from Wyvern making small mistakes, not from Mirage outpowering it. This set showed that Mirage really struggles against anything that can consistently destabilize it. The final score, 3 wins, 7 losses, with burst losses making up the majority. Matchup number 4 was Pegasus Blast with the Slash Assist Blade 360 flat. And Clock Mirage put on its strongest overall performance here. It started rough with a burst loss in round 1, but after that, Mirage went on a 9-win streak. Every single one of those wins was a spin finish. Pegasus just didn't have the stamina or the power to tilt Mirage off balance, and it didn't have the hitting power to burst it either. Mirage settled into the center lane and outlasted it every time. This was the matchup that made Mirage look like an actual defense type. If the opponent didn't hit hard enough and can't tilt it, Mirage becomes a brick wall. And finally, we tested Clock Mirage against Cobalt Dragoon 560 Elevate. This matchup ended with 4 wins and 6 losses, and just like the earlier sets, the losses were almost all bursts. Cobalt Dragoon doesn't always hit hard, but when it does, it creates a really nasty recoil. That recoil knocks Mirage off balance, and once that tilt kicks in, Mirage becomes extremely brittle. The wins Mirage got in this matchup were spin finishes, same as usual. But the moment Cobalt had a solid contact, Mirage broke apart repeatedly. This was another reminder. Mirage cannot handle recoil, even moderate recoil, if it isn't perfectly centered. so across all 50 battles, Clock Mirage was a roller coaster. It dominated some matchups, fell apart in others, and overall finished with a 28-22 record. Here's the pattern that we discovered. If the opponent hits lightly or inconsistent, Mirage wins. If the opponent hits upward or creates recoil, Mirage bursts. If Mirage stays upright, it's fantastic. If it tilts, it's over. This is one of the most matchup dependent bays I have ever tested. It's either a stamina king or a burst magnet, no in between. So if you got an idea for what I should test next, maybe another stock combo, a custom setup, or a full-on stress test, drop it in the comments below. This is Burst Lab X, and we are just getting started.